Grace and peace. Welcome to a new week and a new episode of our continuing series on faith, family, and finance. You know, what is interesting is that the timing of when I began this series and when the Lord told me to put this on, I had no idea it was going to be as explosive as it was around me. Reason I chose these three F's is that constantly in my apologetic teaching and my conversations with global leaders and with institutions and things around the world, they keep asking me, what are the things that we need to look out for? What should we be thinking about? Where should our prayers be directed? And I fought and I prayed, and that's how I came up with these three things: faith, family, finances. I'm on all your social media networks, so you can put us on. Glad to be hearing from so many of you who are messaging me, who are emailing me, who are texting me, who I meet in person, tell me they've enjoying the last word. Why isn't it longer? Why don't you do it longer? Well, I wanted to do it just a short conversation to prick your minds and get your attention. And I'm going to do these in several episodes. I had decided that since this is my 60th year in ministry, this would be my gift to you to stimulate your mind and get you thinking for 60 episodes. So we're on episode 49. If you on YouTube, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bishop DMG. That's where I put all these last words at. If you missed some of them, you can get them off of YouTube, or you can get my Spotify on my podcast rather on Spotify. Podcast on Spotify has all of the episodes right there. You can listen to them on your phone. Just go to Spotify, Google my name on Spotify, and you'll be able to find my podcast where I have all of these last words on my podcast on Spotify. Now, that should take us to some viewpoint. I have been enforcing and talking from some time because I want to present this idea of a Christian worldview. As archaic as that sound, there is a worldview that must be brought to us that I think is a Christian worldview. So let me go back to the text of scripture that I used some time ago and that I think is so important to our study today. 1 John 2:15, do not love the world or anything in the world. The love of the Father is not in them. John talks about a society that's getting ready to get out of control. The love of the world that he used here, the world is talking about the social order, how people see the world from their viewpoint. It's a viewpoint that wants to bring in from your eyes. And I mentioned in some of my episodes that we worry about our gateway into the physical world, into the world that seems to capture us. It's through our eyes. Spiritual truth comes through your ears because it's what you hear in the spirit. So the gateways are getting confused. We as believers need to hear while unbelievers are trying to see. In fact, it's what Jesus told Thomas when he was getting ready to go after the resurrection. We'll be celebrating the resurrection in a few weeks. He says, Thomas, blessed, because he said, look, if I don't see it, I won't believe. So when he finally got to see his handprints and felt the wound in his side, he felt vindicated because he had received what the other apostles received. Jesus said, let me give you a spiritual truth, Thomas. It's more blessed to hear. And so blessed are those who have not seen, yet believe. Because true spiritual truth comes by what we hear, not by what we see. Here's why he says this. Verse 16, 1 John 2:16. For everything in the world, in the social order, in the society, in the things where we at, what we believe, is the lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. They're the three things that capture us all the time. What we see. The lust of the flesh, the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life. It comes not from the Father, but from the world. Again, here we are where our faith lies comes from the Father, is what we hear. Jesus said, he that hath the ears to hear, let him hear what the Spirit says unto the church. Not only that, we talk about this relationship of family. It is the family of God that we need to understand. God as a metaphor of being the one who comforts us, who shields us. It is Jesus who introduced to us that God is Father, not in a human sense, but in a metaphoric sense. His Spirit is so powerful, is so in us, and it feels like he is just hovering over us to follow us. And we are the spiritual birth of what he wants to present, the physical children that he wants to bring into the world. That becomes so important. And so I have been covering with this vantage point, this idea of three things: warfare, worship, and weather. Now, what do those three W's have to do with each other? I told you, wait this week, and I'll let you know how that fills out. Well, the warfare is primarily in your mind. That's what the warfare will be. It is in your mind. And we're going to build a whole case of your mind being the battleground for the devil. If we can be conflicted and have our focus off of what we really should be thinking of and doing it, then our worship is going to be polluted. All of that results in not having a spiritual focus. So we're not paying attention to the strong signs of the weather condition that God is trying to show us that we are getting ready for the end times. And so the end times, the end times have already begun. Yes. But we keep trying to give you indicators. Look, this is the first day of spring for us, and yet it feels like winter. It is a slow moving, a shifting of the environment, readying for a new world, getting us ready for world events that are getting ready to shift beyond our control. Threat of war is imminent. Our financial structure, it seems to be deviating, and we're missing the real truth of where we are. That's why we got to stand firm in our faith. We got to take a firmer hold on our struggles, because our struggles are very real. They are very real. And so what God is trying to show us in terms of that is that our faith and our warfare is not physical warfare. We're going to view that next episode. It is not a physical warfare. It is a warfare that takes us beyond where we are to a new maze of understanding that the warfare is inundated right in our minds. That's why our thinking is twisted. And we don't really know what we're doing, where we at, because we don't have a firm grip on who it is we believe and why we believe. Our faith is being tested not as a denial point, but as syncretism. Syncretism. We keep adding things into the faith, and we keep denying the carnal truths of the faith, so that most people are worried now not about the purity of the faith, but the plurality of the faith. We have so many truths that are being taught. All facts are not true. So tested thinking means that there are no overnight wonders. Think about that. Means there are no overnight wonders. Well, what does that mean? Well, it simply means that you have to go through a process, little by little, precept upon precept. There is no overnight wonders. God is not going to instantly infuse your mind with a truth, and that's all you're going to get. And you find yourself to that point that you're laboring in the truth. No, it's not going to happen like that. In fact, I'll close with this, and we'll talk about it tomorrow, which is so important to our lesson today. For though we live in the world, we do not wage war as the world does. Notice how we keep getting back to that world, the social order. The weapons we fight with are not the weapons of the world. On the contrary, they have divine power to demolish strongholds. We demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God, and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. And we will be ready to punish every act of disobedience once your obedience is complete. 2 Corinthians 10, 3-6. That's where we're going to start at tomorrow. That's what we're going to look at in terms of where we are with this idea of laying hold of our faith, our family, and our financial structure so we can see where we are. And this has been The Last Word.